I'm alive. I can say that. Yes, they say you are alive. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Hi, Evie.
Hello, Selena. How are
How
you?
are you? That's like good timing. Good, perfect. And you?
I'm great. And I would even like ask like how are the entities?
No, they are everywhere. They are like, yeah. We were just talking before we started the live about your eyes, your beautiful, gorgeous eyes. Can you tell us what happened to your eyes? You said just 2 minutes before we started, you said, wait, I'll put some cream because I have some puffy eyes.
Yes. Well, this there is actually a class coming up, a Talk to the Entities class that I'm hosting for Miss Selena, and and it was already like picking up on the whispers that something was asking for this. A lot of entity activity, and with especially like with Corona, a lot of people have died already. And we had this conversation well with Selena that a lot of them are like, they died, they don't know they have died, they're confused. They were like a bit impressed of the way it went, and
Unexpected.
yeah, unexpected and a little bit traumatic as well. It's not like you die in your sleep.
Well,
And
you're kind of, yeah, struggling to go to sleep.
yeah, yeah. And since the class got created until now, for both of us, there has been like a lot of entity activity. So there's like a lot of entities who would like to have more clarity and ease to whatever their next step or choice may be. And there's two things that come up when you say to me like, what's happening with your eyes, Selena? Is I definitely I can feel the pressure of the entities, like in very physical forms, like in headache and like pressure on my heart chest. I sometimes hear them like with pings in one of my ears. um a lot, also sometimes like suicidal thoughts, sometimes with paranoia, sometimes with depression, overwhelm. It can come in many different forms. And I would even say like one other thing as well. So this is like a sign and a symptom of it. And I also have like a symptom of where at one point I was really aware of entities, but I did not want it. And this is actually where I started having um, um, bad eyesight. Yeah,
Ooh,
this
well,
is where I started
that's
wearing glasses.
wow. How does
Yeah,
it get any
because I
better than
saw
that?
them. Yeah, I saw them and I didn't want to see them. I could not talk to anybody about it, like not with my family or anybody else, because they
Well,
thought,
how
yeah,
many families do you know where you can talk about entities? Hey, mom, I just saw somebody next to you. Oh, there's a little thing hopping in the grass in the garden. How many families do you think there are where they
yeah,
can talk about that without being invalidated on what you know?
yeah,
I what
yeah, yeah, true.
So what if now it's the time to get over all those myths because we're saying top three myths that we're going to bust today. What
Because,
is it?
yeah,
Is it now the time? Is it now the time to look at some of the things that we always believed about entities which are actually not true?
I say
And
yes.
and is it now the time to go beyond the myth of, like talking to the entities? So let me put it this way: talking to the entities is not, it's like talking to them. It's not ignoring them. It's not pretending that they are not there. It's acknowledging that there is something. And you might say, oh, I don't know how to do that. We have tools for that. But what if you allowed yourself to start with, okay, so I'm aware of something.
Yeah,
What are you aware of? And are you willing to allow yourself to be aware of it, no matter how it looks like, no matter how it shows up, no matter how, because the nicest part of it is when you allow yourself to be aware of what you're aware. That's not only entities, not only something out there, it's in your life. How much more presence can you? can you have in your own life? So let's go to those myths and puffy eyes and exploded hair in my case.
Basically, whatever you have like explained in the first 3 minutes is basically like the top one myth busted. Is like believing that you do not have any capacity whatsoever with entities.
You might not have, but possibly your body has. Yeah. I'm like, hey, now to tell you the truth, my beginnings with talking to the entities kind of were done in some different modalities. And there was always the significance that came with talking to the entities and being in their presence. And now the nicest part with the tools of talk to the entity is that you don't have that significance. Is that you take that significance off and then you realize, oh, I actually have been able to do this all my life. I just didn't have words for it. So if any of you is still waiting for some sort of acknowledgement from somebody from outside, some kind of recognition, what if you wanted to look at it and say, where else and how else have you already been in contact with entities, but you didn't have words for?
Yeah, I love that.
It's like, to me, a good example is, like, we all have stories with entities. How many stories with entities do you have?
Many, and still counting. Love it.
And to me, it was like, one thing that I would never, ever, ever acknowledge would be that I have a capacity with the entities, but I would filter and digest all the information through my stomach. So there was a period in my life before I discovered the tools of access that I had tremendous stomach pain whenever the things were getting like, and I said, yeah, you're stressed. Yeah, that's you're nervous. That's normal. This is your body reacting. What if you didn't know that? What if you allow yourself to be aware of what you know, and you didn't buy whatever other people serve you that might be? To me, it came with the moment when I said, what is this? And I said, entities. Even if I said it with a, like, entities, the moment when I acknowledged, it lessened and it disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, because like how many of these signs and symptoms that can come psychologically, emotionally, physically, that have always been an awareness of entities, but you, because of many different filters and balls and beliefs, that you would never ever even consider it. Because like one of the things that you had it like with your stomach, like one of my major ones was like paranoia. It was overwhelm. It was depression. It was very psychological. And I was already playing with the tools of access that changed so many different things for me personally. And then that talk to the entities was always like there, but like, it's like, yeah, nope. That's not my cup of tea. I can't do this. Too much work. I don't have that capacity. But once when I started to, I was like, yeah, let me just purchase something. So I went to Talk to the Entities website, I purchased something, and I started using it. Very pragmatic. And lo and behold, my world of those signs and symptoms started changing and shifting.
Totally. But there's the one thing that you said, I started somewhere.
Yeah.
If we allow ourselves to start somewhere, it's like for many of us, for me, either way, it was like, oh my God, what's this? Am I really willing to go there? And it was with a bit of apprehension. And then there's another myth that comes in, that it's bad to talk to the entities.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's bad, and that you're doing such a bad thing. Now, I'm like, you know what? if I have a tool that would bring more ease into my life, I choose for ease no matter how other people look at it and how they consider it. So when you know that you just do an entity clearing, you ask a question, you do an entity clearing, and there's a whole space that's lightening up. What if your willingness to be present with that is opening up space for more consciousness? Now, can you imagine you die tomorrow? This is Evie, or this is Selena, not Evie, Selena. Selena dies tomorrow. Yeah? And how would I like people to think about me? How would I like people to treat me afterwards? Everybody's like, oh, Selena, we know Selena. After I die, it's like, oh, Selena. What if there is another way to treat the disembodied spirits other than whatever that? Yeah, I'm coming from Transylvania, Dracula, vampire stuff. That's another myth. That's another myth. That's another myth. So the other thing is, yeah, talking to the entities is bad. What is it bad about that? And who have you bought this from? And how much potency is hiding behind that thing? Oh, it's bad to talk to the entities. Really? What capacities do you have there that you're not willing to acknowledge, because maybe they are so big and so great and so fantastic that you wouldn't know what to do with them? And what if you don't have to do anything with them? Yeah.
One of the things that come up with, like, it's bad to talk to the entities is like, what if everything is the opposite of what it appears to be? Maybe the bad thing of that is that people actually, when you start to acknowledge entities, once you start to acknowledge entities, you empower them, you empower you, and in such a way that you're like getting so clear and you're getting so present and you're getting so powerful that no one can actually ever control you ever again, because you're like,
no, that's bad.
Aware.
I'm sorry,
and
that's bad.
That's super bad. For most of the world, that's so bad. You cannot be controlled anymore.
But that and this bad kind of catapults me into, but it's difficult to talk to the entities. First it's bad, and then it's difficult. How much are you making things difficult, even if your own life? Because some things come way too easy for you, and you're not willing to receive the judgment of too easy. And then things get difficult and, complicated. And what if talking to the entities is actually an invitation to more ease and to more clarity and to more pragmatics in your life? Not significance, not stories, but being pragmatic in your own life. That is, do whatever works for you and be clear about that. I'm like,
I love that. I love that.
Somebody sticking on the shoulder.
That's awesome. Hey, you know what also comes up with what you just say about that is like, and I've heard, I think it was like Shannon O'Hara who is the founder of these tools, is like, what invitation can entities be? Like the way that, like when you say like, it's difficult to talk to entities and this and that, like how much, or the way that we deal with entities or don't deal with entities, like don't deal with the natural world, is actually showing you how we deal with things in our lives. So what invitation can that be, where entities are like showing you of a different way of dealing with every area in our lives when it comes to business or relationships or sex,
or kids,
or whatever, or kids, money.
Kids and money, because this is something that I kind of find interesting to make a comparison. If you have a bit more a parallel, not a comparison, it's like the way you talk to your kids, it's a good information about the way you would be talking to the entities, and the other way around. to me, like entities, like kids, they all want to communicate at the same time. They all have very important things to do and to say, but it takes presence on your side to first ask them what do they want. Do they want to communicate something? Do they want to be clear? Do they want to contribute something? And if that's happening in a way that's not comfortable for you or not handy for you, ask them to find a way to communicate in a way that works for you. I do exactly that with the children. I have 3 of them. When they come to me and they all have they come back from school and they all have important things to say, to me it's like I'm going to lose my mind if I'm listening to all 3 of them at the same time. So then I have to stop them, ask them to breathe and talk to me what's relevant. Not all the blah, 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 blah. Give me what's relevant in a way that I can relate to it, or I can grasp it, and tell me what you want from me. So what if we entities is the same thing?
Yeah. It's actually having, like what you said, it's like a conversation when you have with somebody who has a body, like, hey, I hear you, but I don't understand you. Can you bring this in a way that works for me?
Exactly.
That's what I really love about these tools. It's not woo-woo, airy-fairy, not for the special chosen ones. It's pragmatical.
It's pragmatic, and it's actually at hand. At hand. You can always ask.
What do you mean with that? Sorry, what do you mean with that?
At hand, like this, it's reachable. It's you have it ready already. Yeah. It's like once you get in contact with them, you know exactly that. Okay, cool. I have it. I can use it. How does it get any better than that? What is it required of me here? What am I aware of that I'm not willing to be aware of? What potency in myself am I refusing when I'm not willing to look at stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not only entity world, it's your world. Yeah. And then, that's this question that Shannon asks. And it's like, it's always such a mind blower for me. Who is the dominant entity in your life? Remember, you're an entity in a body, but who's the dominant entity in your life? And then from then on, there's a whole class coming up, which is opening up a lot of spaces where it's about you choosing to step forward and stepping up. So I'm excited. Since this class can be delivered online, I'm like, yes, let's do this. It's like a big party. And what else? What else is possible here?
But can I add something that as well? Like, for so many different reasons, I am excited for this class. Like, I fucking love Talk to Entities and its tools and the way that it empowers you to deal with a lot of different stuff that you said before, like that you never thought you could. Like, it's so empowering, and like so this is a specialty class that like stems forth for a big part from like the Access Consciousness tools as well. And one of the things that you learn with Access Consciousness is, like, as an infinite being, you receive, you perceive, you know, and you be. And for a lot of it, still, like for me, like a lot of it is like a nice concept. And one of the things that I've learned with like really using the tools of Talk to the Entities is that I really started to learn and get more what it means to receive, perceiving, knowing, and being. And it's like, it's so empowering to really like start to exercise these 4 things. It's has been empowering in ways that you can't even describe. Like, it's just for you to discover, find out, and willing to explore. So if you're like looking to like really be empowered with all your being and all these definitely like these 4, like perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving, it's a wow. Like a wow.
Like, to me, it's like taking a supersonic spaceship to what you already know. In the sense of, you don't have to think of stuff. You don't have to slow yourself down. Everything is instant. As long as you allow yourself to have that speed of knowing. And I see that we have some comments there. Maybe it's the time to say that we have translation in French and Portuguese. How does it get better than that?
And is it even possible, Selena, if there is another language requested?
Yes,
Is it
absolutely.
possible? And how does that work? Like how many people need to register?
You just send us an email, and you send me an email or you send Evie an email, and then we will just look at it and see who's available for translation, and we'll do everything possible for it to happen. So we cannot guarantee from ahead, but if you're interested and if you say, no, English is actually not my language, let us know. And ask a question.
And fast as possible, so we can actually we can take care of it.
At least by Friday morning, we should know. So I guess this is it. We said 3 minutes. We discussed 5 or 6 or 7, but who counts? And there is so much more to come. Yeah. So much more. Yeah. Well, thank you, Evie, so much for this. And you know, it's Evie who made this the top 3 myths busted banner, which I adore. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Maybe we just say Friday 13th, the intro class, 14, 15, starting from 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And that might be that might shift still according to a translation that's going to be approved or not. So let's see what else is possible. What I know is this class is shifting a bit.
Yes.
It's like, ta-da. So yeah.
Whoa. Isn't it Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, it's the Friday the 13th.
It's a perfect date.
Oh my god, it's the perfect
we
date.
did not do this on purpose, hey? That was like totally coincidence.
Yeah, it's on a Friday 13th in the afternoon.
Yeah. Is it also from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.?
It's from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and then the class itself from 2 p.m. to 8:30 in the afternoon. Up to now. So thank you, everybody. Let's have some fun talking to the entities. Evie, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having this class up. Like, yeah,
I'm so cool. Kisses and hugs, and boo hugs. Bye.
Bye, everybody.